internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. Coinbase has been moving their XRP, and I have been trying to locate it. We covered this long time ago. Remember when we were tracking all the wallets for Coinbase and how much XRP they hold? I made a tweet back in 2023 of April, and I said, why is Coinbase holding so much XRP? Fidelity and BlackRock are also involved. They know what's coming. And this is when XRP was at like 50 cents, and look where we are today, trading handsomely at $2.99. And the best part about all this is that this is still absolutely nothing. This is still all speculation. This is zero world utility. And this is XRP not being used at any means of large payments for its real purpose. Things are about to get wild. And then we're going to go over an episode that we did about 3 years ago. And I'm telling you, your jaw is going to hit the floor. So you might want to hang on to that once we start that one. But if we go over to this tweet, take a look at these. Remember, and the best part is, thank God I got these rows, because I went through the rows on the rich list today just to confirm that these are not Coinbase's, and they're not. So if we go back to the tweet, as you guys could see, this is Coinbase's cold wallet, 40 million. It all added up to over, I believe it was like 2 point something billion XRP, about just over under 3% of the whole circulating supply. And even if you guys go on XRP scan, I'll leave the link in the description down below for the rich list. If you go to these rows, you're not going to see Coinbase there. We're going to go over it briefly today. But you could see Coinbase had a lot of XRP. But if we go to the XRP rich list now, and even if we go to the same rows, for example, so let's say we want to go to row, let's say 199, and it held 17.8 million XRP. And this is back in 2023. Row 199 right now is currently, let's see who that belongs to. Let's take a look. Row 199 belongs to, it's a 27 million wallet, and it belongs to, again, we don't know. So it has completely shifted, and I love how we are documenting history. And when you document history, you could go back and compare the work that you did back in 2023 and see what Coinbase is actually strategically doing, okay? And there are some mislabeled wallets here. So even if you go here and then you type in control find coin, you have coin. No, we want to see Coinbase. There's two. There's two that you could see in the top 500. And I'll show you some of these hidden wallets because they have like sequences. Coinbase, I've realized they do like these exact amounts since the past, long time ago. And if we take a look at, let's see, they usually matched when they made these wallets. So 298 and 297. Let's see who this belongs to. 297 belongs to Coinbase. Take a look at that. Go ahead and smash that like button. It is not labeled. And then 298, you see how they're the exact same holding? Because like I said, when you know the system inside out, you start noticing patterns. Again, Coinbase. Again, here we have Coinbase again, still holding on to some XRP, but they have shifted their XRP drastically into different wallets. They're moving it around because you know what time it is? It's time for the party to get started. And now they're getting everything ready in place. And soon, I want to say one thing, and this is a fact, and if you disagree with me, that's fine, because time is going to settle everything. It always has been doing it for us. These institutions, Coinbase, the closed door meetings that we talked about in yesterday's episode, right, at Washington, D.C., they know exactly what's coming. And they exactly know how much some of these digital assets are going to go up by. This is not a speculative comment on behalf of me. This is facts. These are individuals that know exactly what's about to happen. But they're not going to come out here and tell you everything. Just like in CV19, they didn't come out here and tell you the truth. And obviously, we cannot compare these intelligent individuals for them hiding this information, because this information is much different than CV19. Okay? But even when you listen to what Sandy Call said, and shout out to Cyphers for this one, we covered this in the past, but I saw it again, and this is just monumental. And again, also keep in mind at Ripple Swell, you're going to have Mr. Jeff speaking, and he's also the Chief Information Security Officer at Coinbase. Okay, you even have DBS Bank, Ripple just announced. And Sandy Call, right? When she says this is insane. Insanity.
For one, I think that's going to be the most important reason we see this migration, is that it allows everyday people to do what institutions have been doing for decades in the investing market.
So this is just the beginning, and Coinbase shifting their XRP is huge. I wonder what the real plans are, what they're doing. And again, you got BlackRock here. And I made a video approximately August 21st, 2023. Okay. And after you're done watching this video, you're going to say, wow. Again, our tone has never changed. But the information that has been provided here with Coinbase and BlackRock, and how they're all in this together, and how right now Ripple, Coinbase, BlackRock, I'll tell you this right now, you could think it's delusional, that's totally fine. But like I said, time will settle everything. But you do understand they have contracts behind the scenes for Coinbase, them holding XRP, and some of it is probably BlackRock's. Ripple's escrow, there are contracts in that these large institutions will have a piece of that escrow, and they have contracts in place.
ETF. How about an XRP ETF? I know you got Ether out there. How about XRP? Can you answer that?
I can't. And you don't want me to.
I do.
Well, I can't.
All right.
These financial products that are being designed around these digital assets are always going to come here, and they're only going to get better and more advanced going forward. So right now, you can put your assets and start earning yield on these outside platforms, okay? But I want to keep you guys updated on Salute. We're trying to bring the liquidity to the XRP ledger. So we are trying to bring some DeFi capabilities to the XRP ledger, leveraging Salute, RLUSD, XRP to really affect and boost the ecosystem for the XRP ledger, because we do not want to outsource something that we could do in-house, right? So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Remember, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where us humans can actually even create a financial design yield-generating product, and it is all run by a community. I cannot wait for the announcements for Salute. If you guys have not checked out Salute, check out the website, link in the description down below. It could be purchased on the Joey wallet. Join the Telegram, okay? There's a lot of different pages in there that you could be talking about different topics. We have different pages for different topics. So join the Telegram, but take a listen to this video, and we'll be back with another video.
But there's so much progress that's yet to occur. Just backing up, if global financial assets are approximately 220 trillion, right? Crypto is approximately 2 trillion. That's 1%, right? It is so small what crypto is today in the context of what it could become, right?
Like I said, BlackRock will not be holding on to XRP because they could just be sourcing it from Coinbase. Just take a listen to this little clip from Ripple, and then we're going to break down everything.
Is the ability to settle payments via a digital asset, XRP. XRP's speed, scalability, and cost make it the ideal bridge asset for cross-border payments. This allows banks to grow their payments volume and reach without accumulating more direct liquidity relationships. With XRP's trading volume at higher daily average than most exotic currencies, it makes it an ideal bridge asset for payments into exotic corridors. With this liquidity arrangement, each bank either holds XRP directly or leverages an exchange to source XRP. This serves as an on-demand, fungible liquidity pool that can be used for payments.
And Larry Fink knows what's coming down the pipelines, folks. You really can't underestimate what these guys try to act like they don't know. Because if we go back to 2017, I remember when this article came out, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin an index of money laundering. And then in 2021, they say BlackRock CEO says crypto may become a great asset class, but is no substitute for currency. Again, they still don't understand what's coming down the pipeline. XRP will be a neutral currency, a jurisdictionless. This is a very, very strong asset. Just take a listen to what David Schwartz says here.
XRP is an efficient bridge between two assets, including stablecoins and CBDCs. It's neutral, it's jurisdictionless, it's censorship resistant, it doesn't have any central counterparty that you need to trust, so it can be used as a sort of universal bridge. And blockchains are what provide that level playing field so that banks and regulators can live in a multi-asset future without having to deal with hundreds of different APIs, hundreds of different controllers or different rule sets.
XRP has it all. And BlackRock is indirectly going to be sourcing XRP through Coinbase. Coinbase, selected by BlackRock, provide Aladdin clients access to crypto trading and custody via Coinbase Prime. Competitors, you're probably wondering, what do you mean competitors? Matico, it's a custody solution, right? Again, we have custody at Coinbase, BlackRock working with them. That's why Ripple bought Matico. Things are going to get extremely massive, and everything we cover on this channel is going to become reality very, very soon, just like the MasterCard did. We called that 2 years ago. BlackRock ETF holds 384 million of shares in Bitcoin mining firms. Indirectly correlated with Bitcoin, they're doing as much as they can to be accumulating Bitcoin. We don't know the exact deal behind this. We don't know if they're getting a percentage of the, Bitcoins that are getting mined. They're hoarding, folks. These guys are buying. And I'm going to show you all of Coinbase's wallets. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF application refiled, naming Coinbase as surveillance sharing partner. What do you got to say? And if we go into the XRP scan, we know Coinbase is holding on to a lot of XRP, 40 million, 40 million, 39 million, 39 million. The list goes on and on. We even have 27 million, 27 million. And there's addresses right here. You see how this is all 10,000? Guess what? They're Coinbase. They're just not out here. As you guys could see, activated by Coinbase. Let's back out. We'll see all of them. That's just one proof, folks. These are all Coinbase in real time. I'll show you right now. When we scroll all the way down to the $10,000, see, they're all the same increments, right? They all have the same vision. They lock them up like this. Again, Coinbase. They have over 1 billion of XRP. And that is what BlackRock could be sourcing from Coinbase. Because Larry Fink knows. Just take a listen to what he said. He knows that a neutral bridge currency would be required, okay, to connect all these other settlements when it's all ready and to go.
I don't think we need to create a new currency, but the technology to instantaneous calibrate all the currencies. I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that.
Anytime there's a new market, there's a lot of people that run into that market and try to show that they can solve a problem, they can deliver a customer need. I have said publicly before that I think 99% of all crypto probably goes to zero. But there is that 1% where I think that is focused on solving a real problem for real customers and is able to do that at scale. And that's going to be...
I do believe...
Because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you can look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
And then let's finish it off with this bombshell. This document's back from 2020. But we already know the BRICS nation, okay, this is on the BRICS website, BRICS Journal of Economics, on de-risking and de-dollarizing intra-BRICS trade via smart contracts. Wow, listen to this, okay? This is the PDF right here, and listen to what they say. We agree to communicate closely to enhance currency cooperation, consistent with each central bank's legal mandate, including through currency swap, local currency settlement, and local currency direct investment, where appropriate, and to explore more modalities of currency cooperation. Wow, folks, this is so massive. I don't think you understand how big this currency swap, local currency settlement, this is huge. And they mentioned XRP in here. Funds needed to execute the contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. And they go ahead and refer to the XRP ledger as an example. Once the contract execution date arrives and conditional fulfillment checks are completed, smart contracts self-execute and disperse associated payments to the contracting parties, automating execution and settlement, as well as eliminating contractual disputes and risks of non-fulfillment of obligations by counterparties. Folks, this is huge. This is going to be locked up. They're going to be doing transactions in the future where it doesn't execute right away, but they put dates on it, which means there's going to be, remember what that whole fundamental framework when they said corporations and banks can be holding on to XRP until they execute the trade. So they could be holding on to, for example, 1 billion XRP for next week's settlement that they're proposing. 100 billion XRP, there's a reason why it was all pre-mined from the get-go. Obviously, we know it's a deflationary asset. We know it's going to take years for XRP to basically burn all of its XRP. It's going to take over 100 years. But again, it still provides that scarcity. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And we will be back with another video. We are so early. I can't stress that enough. And to every single one of you guys that are holding, getting through, one day at a time, it sucks in terms of, we all want the market to go up and, become somewhat financially free. But we all need to come to an understanding, take a step back, and acknowledge the fact that, I'm going to say it again, this asset class is very new. Our mindset, our human mindsets have never seen anything like this. So patience has to be taught throughout our journey. Okay? Just like, remember back, I always say this, back in 1794, whenever the stock market was, operating, imagine we had the internet to advise people what's coming down the pipeline. But we didn't. Or even in the 1800s or in the 1900s or even the 2000s. We didn't have internet in the 2000s to let people know about the 2008 financial crisis. Like, we couldn't let people know. It was all the propaganda news that we were all watching. We were so brainwashed. And there are, majority of the world is still brainwashed. But this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you understand what you're holding, you got nothing to worry about. And to all the individuals, well, maybe one or two that leave negative comments, it sucks being an imbecile, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, you get to live with yourself, and I get to hear you once in the comments. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys, and we will be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening.
Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.
Up this morning, check my bags on the chain. XRPL still humming while the FUD folks complain. Ripple fighting Goliath, yeah, the SSA's game. But Johnny D and Hogan, they're bringing the flame. So we salute to the rebels in suits, to the coders and hodlers wearing dusty old boots. Raise a toast to the ledger and the lawyers who bite, while taco stand dumps through the middle of the night. Damn, Jed, can you chill? Brad G's on the mic saying clarity now, while Shorts codes the stars with the hologram cow wash. The haters keep chirping, but the people ain't blind. This ain't some mean dream, it's the internet's spine. Regulators stalling, but the clock's ticking fast. Ripple drops the case like a baseline blast. Communities united from Twitter to the street. We meme through the madness and never admit defeat. Yeah, we salute to the devs and the geeks, to the ledger that clears in seconds, not weeks. To D, to Hogan, to legal delight, and the salty old taco that just loves to spite. Hey Jed, you done yet? Or you got another dump scheduled for lunch? So here's to the warriors, the freaks, and the fans, waving salute tokens like battle flags in hand. It ain't just about coins, it's a movement, a pact. We defend what we build, and we're taking it back. Come on, salute to the ones in the fight, to the token that laughs in regulatory spite, to Schwartz, Brad, and the ones still believing, even while taco stands always leaving. One for XRP, and raise your guitar for decentralized dreams. This song's for the ledger, the truth and the proof. With a smile and a nod, we say salute.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.